Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking apart. Step by step, don't rush ahead. Winter's kind. She gives you breath. Fate will come. For now you're numb. Take my hand. Keep looking up.
Round of 16. Rogue, Zoun, INnoVation, Dark. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live.
Zartosis on the piano right now.
LG Ultra Gear and Hot
Gotten a lot
6.
better.
2021. GSL Season 1.
It's nice. Now let's put the guitars out here. Oh, no, never mind.
That's
Thought I
Tasteless
just-
singing right there.
That's me singing. Don't give up, Tasteless.
Don't
Don't give up.
You only got to cast one more Tasteless.
Just one more best of 3 Tasteless. Apparently I was going to give up. Guys, we're in the final best of 3 here. INnoVation versus Dark. This is a rematch. And when these guys played earlier tonight, honestly, Dark crushed INnoVation. Dark did look a lot better.
Yeah.
He had a cool time in attack in the first game, and in the second game, he just sort of, he out-zerged him, man. He was too big. He was hitting all the expansions.
Yeah, those are both. You're right. You're right. But the first game, like, really was pretty darn cheesy, and he almost didn't break him. So good on Dark. Like, he executed well. He was patient with it, and he pulled it back. And then, yeah, game 2 though, INnoVation did make some funny choices the way he played that. So I don't know. Like, I think Dark is slightly favored here, but I could see INnoVation taking him out.
Yeah, it could happen. INnoVation could just come back with solid play. Maybe Dark doesn't have enough of a wide range of play styles. We're going to start this out on Amanda's side, and actually Nautilus is going to be map 2.
Nice.
2021. GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes.
It's time to cheese. Actually, this is funny because we were talking on the break about the match, and you were saying, Tasteless, you were like, this is going to be a lot longer than the first one because Dark kind of already used his cheeses. And then I said, well, since he already used his cheeses, maybe this is the perfect time for INnoVation to go proxy racks.
Yeah, this conversation never happened. But no, it's, you're right. This is a great moment.
Yeah.
Double racks. Is he going to see it, though? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
close
he's gonna
enough.
see
But
it.
I think it's, let's watch until the very end, because sometimes we see this going, and they're like, just turn it around in a second.
It's like, you know what?
You know what?
Let's check somewhere else.
He wouldn't have gone that far down.
He just re-clicked it there. He's going to see it.
Oh! Oh!
Okay, sees it, but that's not the end of the world. It's only 2 barracks.
Right.
3 drones, 4 drones.
5, actually, I think.
I don't think the drones can actually prevent.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this.
I don't think so. I don't think, like, maybe they want to just put damage on SCVs or something. But he's not going to prevent this barracks from finishing.
The drones blow up the bridge and trap them there. Damn.
They blow up
They're
the
like
bridge.
The Command and Conquer drones. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Hey, we have destructible rocks. Why don't we have destructible bridges yet?
Yeah.
Truly.
They had that in Command and Conquer. I mean, what are we even doing here? Can he actually body block us into the corner? Nope.
That's a StarCraft 2 Marine, my friend.
Yeah, that is a slippery Marine right there. I don't feel like we normally see them send the drones out like this.
If it's close enough and they find it early enough, I think it's great to kill an SCV.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, yeah, I was surprised he sent it because...
He lost 2 drones.
Yeah, and I guess he, like, stalled it out enough and everything, but it didn't feel like the greatest move. But we'll see what he continues to do. Like, he's putting some damage on the Marines as they come up. I guess now he can go out and expand to 3 different locations on the map.
That's what he needs.
Or to 1 and have the gases ready, you know?
Yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't have any gas yet, so, like, that's pretty useful, right? You can mine through those minerals right there to make a path to the other base. There's a lot. There's a lot you can do with these drones.
So funny.
You just got to be creative, Tasteless.
It's funny if you know this game well enough. It's like all the bad forks of the ideas you could follow.
Oh, God.
All right, he is going to take this bunker out before it can get finished. And there's no way these Marines can do anything now. This is a little bit tricky here because Zerg's going to get... They already have a couple links here. The barracks are going to have to go back home. He does not use 1 to check inside the main, which we've seen before.
All right. Well, I think at the end of all this, like, it wasn't bad for INnoVation. Like, he got some drones. You know, you force these lings, you force the sunk and everything. But I think Dark defended it fine. Chooses not to take 3 expansions on the map, but that's all right.
A little weird there, a little bit questionable.
Yeah, a little bit, because I'm like looking and look at how many expansions haven't even been scouted yet. Like, if he took one of those, INnoVation wouldn't even know.
So the 3rd hatch comes down now. Zerg actually super saturated at the natural. We'll be transferring those drones to the 3rd soon here. Look, I feel like this is a great start here for Dark.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he's looking pretty good.
And I think we do have, you know, INnoVation getting the double command center here as well. That's never surprising from him.
Yeah, that almost always comes up after a 2 proxy barracks. Go into your factory and then double CC. Because you gotta start to get your economy back on track and everything.
Is there some kind of counterplay here from the Zerg? I mean, obviously the float time to get the barracks back home is, I mean, it's enough that it matters. You could have been making Marines there. Things are a little bit slowed down. The natural has been slowed down here for Terran as well. He's not even mining from it just yet. It will be soon. He
is going 3 gas right now and a Roach Warren.
Yep.
So I think there is going to be some counterplay. I think he is going to go out with some roaches.
Yeah. Very Dark-esque. And we'll see if this actually works this time around here. Dark's been pretty effective with this before.
Yeah, 7 roaches, 8 roaches.
The thing with Dark, though, is so far it seemed like he's been fine with, you know, having good timing attacks or playing a long game. He just seems to be very well-rounded. You know, we have these long hiatuses from StarCraft 2 here in Korea. It can be a little bit hard to tell where everybody's at GSL-wise. So we start to flesh out the first season.
Okay, the roaches going across. The Hellions can hit them a little bit.
Roach pressure's beginning. The layers started. Obviously, Stem still a ways out for now. The 3rd CC is done, but it stays parked inside the main because obviously in this game you can't possibly come down there and try to expand.
Little Marine drop going on. Does draw the roaches back. It's not that many roaches, though. In fact, now that the drop is going around, I imagine these are just going to be defensive roaches. Some Hellions going up. Maybe try to draw the roaches somewhere with the drop and then bring in the Hellions, or you could combo them together.
Okay, Hellions coming up.
Hey, he's actually getting a couple live tumors right there. That was kind of nice.
So convenient. And now the little group of Marines is going to be unloaded here. The scouting overlord is going to get an idea of exactly where Inno is at in this game. Now, one thing we don't have a lot of because there's so many Hellions made is tanks. Our first tank is actually being started, and you know, if it's going to be Roach Ravager there, that can be hard to deal with. You know, the tanks are kind of what keep that back, especially on the high ground. The Hellions are going to come in here and do a good amount of damage.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. 6 drones going down, trying to stop that economy of Dark, but honestly, Dark's drone count is very good, and he's like very heavily droning as well. So INnoVation mostly loses any form of mat presence he had other than this one medevac.
And he lost value really there too. I mean, the Hellions didn't pay for themselves really.
Yeah, especially when your opponent is on this many drones already. He was on like 67 when those came in. So you see that Dark's economy is actually getting kind of insane. Like he's getting double Evo, Hydralisk Den, Roach Speed, and the Infestation Pit all at once while making 2 more hatches. So he's like... he's got it going on.
INnoVation going to come out now with that drop. I think this is going to be swatted away pretty easily, though. Well, let's see. I mean, he has to try to do something to control the creep to mitigate the growth of the Zerg here on the map. But yeah, I mean, this all kind of comes back to that moment at the start. It's kind of a butterfly effect game here. I mean, the proxy didn't do very much. It also slowed INnoVation down from really getting the development that he's sort of known for doing. I mean, I think it's okay for us to sing his praises for getting outside of his box.
I think it was a good choice. It just got scouted really quick.
Yeah, that's right. It did get spotted. I mean, the rush obviously looks a lot worse when the Overlords see it and drones come out to preempt it. But no, this is what happens to anybody who does a rush like this when it backfires. Is you're playing from a penalty from there on out until you can really do the damage you need to do.
Well, it is going to be a tough one, but INnoVation starting to clear some creep over on the side. He's getting a second factory now, which is going to be important, another command center as well. But Hive is like almost done here, which means we're going to be into Lurkers and Vipers. So if you're going to be playing against Vipers, when you try to do your tank-based push, it might end up looking a lot like the macro game that they already played.
Yeah.
Right, where INnoVation pushes out something that looks like it's really good, and then 3 Vipers come up and ruin it.
Not bad there by INnoVation. Actually going to win that fight, chase away some of these roaches. We mentioned the Vipers. Yeah, that's going to be critical here. I want to see INnoVation on that fourth, how he handles it. This is looking, as it develops further on, it's mirroring a lot, at least for Dark, it's mirroring a lot of the ideas that we had in the second game where Dark defeated INnoVation 2-0.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very similar for him. And, like, INnoVation, if he had a timing, it was like 30 seconds ago, I think. Because now we have all these Lurkers here, right? We have decent creep spread, and there's about to be like 3 or 4 Vipers with good energy. But 2 siege tanks at a time. Let's see where INnoVation goes with this. Doesn't have his 2-2 quite yet. That's a very common timing in Terran vs. Zerg, is to get your 2-2. You're generally maxed out right around then.
Right. This is where INnoVation tends to be his strongest. The Baneling's Nest is coming down here. Now, last time it did seem like Dark was kind of poking out in different areas, and it was sometimes doing damage, but sometimes he was losing Lurkers here or there. This time he's been much, much more passive, I think, despite even being further ahead this time.
Yeah.
I think he's going to wait for the Baneling Nest to finish before we see any real engagement.
Yeah, he might start running around and trying to pop things like planetaries. One thing I want to mention, right, we have the 3rd factory on the way, and he did have 3 factories in the other game as well. But 3 factory siege tank, that's where you can start getting siege lines that are so deep that Lurker, Ling, Bane type of armies with Hydras and whatnot can't really break you. You can actually start to get very cost efficient. Of course, he needs to be able to deal a little bit with the Vipers as well. Whether that's some Vikings for zoning or some Ghosts mixed in.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Coming here.
Yeah.
Now, does he have an Overlord back in the main? Keep in mind the sensory towers seem to see everything, so I don't think you can actually get an Overlord in the back unless he flies one in now. Try to do this. I'm kind of surprised he's going here. I guess you can just snag the tanks, kill him, and then push onward. There it is. All right, yeah, no, this makes perfect sense.
Well, anytime
now
you're
the
picking up...
tanks are trapped behind the wall.
Yeah. Quick, down the depots! But he does have enough tanks that, like, this is still going to be held, but I think that was pretty reasonably efficient. Now, a stim forward here from INnoVation with heavy Marauder-based army, and he will end up clearing this. That wasn't as bad for INnoVation as it was starting to look at the beginning.
Yeah, no kidding.
He ends up killing all the units there. And he does have Ghosts on the way, which I think is like kind of the important thing. With the enhanced shockwaves, that really tells you that he's looking at EMP as the possible solution to these abducts.
Right.
Oh my God, there's no vision there for INnoVation.
Oh, that's so crazy. What a blind spot that is. Oh, and here we go. It's going to be Whack-a-Lurker here from here on out.
Oh, that is
on top of the
very
infrastructure.
annoying. And a second one coming up. Oh my God, look at these Ghosts. Just trying to run out of there.
Oh,
that
is, I think...
That's a killer move right there.
That's almost a checkmating move. I mean, when you just see he's going to have to push into this, and I mean, the macro engine behind this is so good.
Yeah, he's
for
losing.
Dark.
He's losing so much production here. Not just his buildings, but like he can't even make units out of them right now. So you see his supply; it's only going to sit there until he can clear this. But he's losing so much of his production. Dark is just like making mass bases during all this. So well done. What a nice move.
Yeah, another attack comes out over here. I mean, he's trying to reclaim his main. Even if Terran does reclaim this, there's going to be a lot of rebuilding here, and there's actually a possibility that Zerg just overpowers. It's like there's just barely enough medevacs here to barely heal everything for the Terran to just barely, with something like 4 Marauders and a Ghost, hang on.
Yeah, but he can't make anything. Like look at his bank right now. He's at 133 supply, but he's going over 1,000 minerals, and I mean he's going to make all the production facilities again, but it's going to take a while for those to finish, and then does he get add-ons on which ones, and you know, how does that work?
I mean, it's
going to take a long time.
A very alternative way to smash a Terran. We talk about getting on top of their production. Yeah, that idea was there to begin with, but the Nidus Lurkerling to just absolutely wipe out production is another story.
Yeah.
So he's got to have this Nidus coming in here. I mean, this needs to be killed immediately.
Yeah,
looks like he's got enough damage to take it out.
And he did kill the Overseer that was in there. Oh, there is still one in the bottom right corner.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Man, I didn't notice that got away. That's painful, though.
Okay, he's going to attack it now.
All right, yanking some of these siege tanks forward. Ling's just surrounding this planetary, not really able to repair that, unfortunately, so the planetary does end up falling.
Yeah, wipes that out. A Nidus comes up there, and you know, there's nothing in the game that stops you from getting more than one Nidus. So we can again Nidus in that main. I'm still waiting for that
Creativity
moment.
tasteless stops you from getting one more Nidus. Your creativity level.
So he's gonna have a Nidus where he can launch attacks from. It's just above the 3 o'clock spot, but here comes a Nidus again that I was most interested in. I'm surprised he put it in the same spot.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
tries to make it work. It's not going to that time.
But there's nothing defending these tanks. I mean, tanks alone die to Lings.
Yeah, that is true. A few units in here would be really, really helpful. Look at that. Blinding Cloud goes down and ducks as well. The Nidus really got him. Like, I think that INnoVation's overall strategy there was a really reasonable one, to go for the 3-factory siege tank, make your siege lines deep, get into the ghosts, and then suddenly you have a composition that can fight against what Dark has been doing. But Dark hitting that Nidus in like the one dark area on the entire side of the map for INnoVation.
That was insane.
When you kill the production of Terran, that is the most painful thing in the whole world to replace.
Yeah. We're going to go on to Nautilus. Can't proxy on this map. INnoVation versus Dark coming into this. Dark has not actually lost to INnoVation yet, guys.
Yeah, that's true. He's
Dark
at
just
3-0.
keeps beating him. What I thought would be so exciting. I mean, it was exciting, but it wasn't close.
Yeah.
At least not in results. INnoVation is able to hang on for a little bit, but Dark coming in here with these lurkers that are just so difficult to manage. It's too many fires to put out, really.
Well, let's see what INnoVation can do. Maybe he has something planned here for Nautilus.
Yeah, let's find out. Game 2 is ready.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. We're living a life lighted by a candle.
Kai Z Gaming. INnoVation. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark.
Here we go. 4-player map. They're on the left side of the map. All of our games so far have been on the left side of the map. It makes me wonder if it's actually a 2-player map that looks like a 4-player map.
They
Someone
just
set
told
it
us
up
it's
wrong.
4-player and we believed it. We're like, yeah, those look like spawns on the right. If I'm Dark, I don't think you need to do anything fancy. The fact that he's 3-0'd him so far, The fact that it's mostly been overpowering him in the late game, and when he does choose to rush, he wins. I don't think he can feel more confident than Dark does right now.
All right, that's fair enough. And it's a big 4-player map, so if it does get really late, it generally is a little bit harder for Terran to expand all over the place, right?
SCV coming down. And this SCV is going to immediately scout the spawn location. You know, we don't get to say it very often, but in this case, since it's a 4-player map, the Overlord went the wrong way. A little bit more annoying. The timing's not as nicely mapped out, you know, for Zerg in this, whereas on 2-player maps, the Zerg always has a very clean path for where the Overlord needs to get. It's a thing we deal with more in StarCraft 1, but yeah, I mean, you know, the Overlord scouts will get different information, and if they scout last, there's different positions they oftentimes have to take because it's not safe to just go to where would usually be the best had you scouted them first.
Yeah, yeah, he might intercept you or something.
Yeah, so this is something that's going to be a factor here.
A little bit of Reaper harassment, pretty standard opener still. We see that factory coming up with the reactor. We'll see if a 3rd command center goes up for innovation. It looks like it's considering only has 1 gas. So yeah, I think we'll see that 3rd CC in just a moment. And there it is. Oh, Roach Warren though. Roach Warren coming up right away.
You devil, you. Going with the Ratches.
Yeah, let's see what he gets done with it. Hop up from the Reaper.
Roaches. The Reaper is getting zoned out.
Really wants to keep him back.
He does not want this to get in here. He's like, Sterling's like, oh wait, I can't beat a Reaper. What am I doing?
What was that?
I can't fight this. It was like Dark was like, I've got him exactly where I want him. Now go, sick him, Ling.
Yeah, he said the Ling like it was an SCV in his main.
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, 4 roaches being made right now. Ooh.
Wait, he's going to get in there and scout this. I can't believe he didn't stop this. Does he not see that? I think he does.
No, he does.
We don't know for sure.
Well, now he does.
The Reaper might need glasses. We don't know.
Maybe INnoVation has his eyes closed. Wait, yeah, no, we do know that too. We see his eyes are open. Right, bunker coming up. Drones mostly being made, so it looks like the roaches, I don't think he's going to do very much with them. Tastes a Banshee's on the way, so if he tries to do much, INnoVation's going to gain a big advantage there.
7 roaches coming out. A lucky number, but maybe not lucky at this moment, Artosis.
No.
I'm surprised he let him see that.
Well, Reapers are slippery. That
yeah,
can
they
happen.
are hard to catch. They do have rocket packs on their back. There is that.
Yeah. You want the poor queen to catch that? Have you ever seen her off creep? All right, does this little push in. See how much he actually ends up getting done. Like, I mean, if you pick off a decent amount of SCVs, maybe this turns out to be good. He's actually oh my God.
No.
Oh, serious damage coming down right now from the Hellions. Dude, Dark cannot be happy with this.
Yeah, this is bad for Dark. I mean, he took the risk and he's paying for it now. Now he is killing a lot of SCVs over here. So let's see where this all balances out. But actually, Dark is going to be up 37 workers right now. I mean,
yeah, he is up in workers.
There are mules for Terran, and there's 3 command centers.
Yeah, so. That's the thing that gets me, right? Like sometimes when you do these attacks, where you're sacrificing some of your own development, but they have the quick 3 command centers. The same reason why it does a lot of damage is why Terran can kind of come back from it, because they can refill that SCV count so quickly. Mules prop them up for a little bit, and then, you know, have your patches filled.
Okay, the Banshees are coming up. I don't know how much damage they're truly going to get. It does seem like Dark is kind of prepared for the Banshees to actually come in.
Yeah, he's making spores, a few extra ones here, making sure that they can't do too much. So INnoVation gonna find some damage.
Nice job here. Okay, kills off those queens. Now, Dark is still maintaining a lead here as far as workers goes, 50 to 37. The Banshees are a headache. They're a nuisance, but it's not pushing him further and further behind. Okay, wow, gets 8 kills. That's pretty wild. Maybe he does actually start to catch up here.
Yeah, really not
Seemed
bad.
like it wasn't going to happen for a little bit there, but I think sometimes players are very reluctant to pull the drones away and instead just try to get the queens over there to fight him.
Well, 2 Banshees, you're definitely going to lose a lot of drones there. Overseer coming out. We do have that 1-1 on the way for INnoVation. Go ahead and repair those Banshees now. Send them out again. Evo's coming up a little bit late for Dark, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit worrisome, considering Terran's already getting 1-1, and INnoVation is usually strongest when he gets 2-2, which obviously with the Evo's not even finished yet. He will get there ahead of Dark unless something really weird happens.
I'd like to see a dedicated push on the 4th base from INnoVation.
Yeah, same.
He hasn't really, like, overmade Hellions or Mines or anything like that, so he's actually getting his tanks started a little bit earlier. Something that I know you weren't liking as much in some of the previous games, how late his tanks were starting, but that's going to allow him maybe to put some pressure on coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different style, but the place it landed him. Honestly, though, that game came so much down to the fact that the Nidus wasn't spotted, you know? There was a lot of things going on, but that was such an extraordinary situation that was really what was most important here. We've got infantry coming out now, targeting down these queens, gets 1 kill, tries to get a second, the queen is pulled away.
Yeah, we'll end up losing one of those Banshees and a lot of the Marines as well. I don't think that did quite as much as what he was looking for.
Yeah, this hatchery will go down uncontested.
Banshee. Gonna put some damage on it. Shouldn't be able to close cancel, I don't think.
No, I think he's got too much time.
Yeah.
Terran's got the 3rd that's secure and safe. The tech race is going on. Again, we do worry right now for Dark's sake. Dark is getting Burrow, which I like.
Yeah, he's actually focusing pretty heavily upon the roaches and getting pathogen glands, so it's going to be like probably a Roach Ravager Infester combination.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I do feel like INnoVation might be able to pull off an attack coming up here.
Another attack comes down there, deflected. A little bit tricky, actually, for the Terran to do harass to the main because of the spawns on this map. We should point that out. A lot of Terrans rely on whether it's a surprise attack in the main out of nowhere or it's a fight in the middle that doesn't go their way, but they want to pick up and dive into the main. It's hard to do here.
Yeah, and these spawns, it's going to be... I don't think you can really do it.
Yeah, and it seems like Terran's going to have to focus on the exterior, which in some ways makes the defense a little bit easier. You know, on these one-on-one maps where you have diagonal spawns from each other, the way the maps are shaped, oftentimes there's a big cavity, the medevacs can go over safely, there's fights where you can hit a 3rd, but oops, now I'm in your main. You don't really have that here. You know, we don't get to talk about 4-player maps very often in StarCraft 2 because we don't have them very often, but these are things about the architecture of the map that have to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, you see it's rotationally symmetric, so like if their spawns were reversed, that would be a much more realistic thing, right, to pick up and get into that main, but here, there's a lot of stuff you'd have to fly over. Now, here comes that push from INnoVation that we've kind of been talking about a little bit, and there are some infestors out. I believe he has 3 right now, and look at this, following the army with a bird roach. I actually really like that. Oh, those fungals. But he actually dodges the biles pretty well.
The biles actually could have been slightly better. He still hasn't noticed this roach.
I think maybe it was because it was in the WLF.
Oh, okay, Terran dives in here. That does not kill the tanks off. The infestor actually far away, now coming back behind this.
Oh my god, are we going to get another fungal? That's an insane...
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, those fungals. Just brutal. Dark now pushing into those tanks.
One of the greatest fungals of all time.
He really massacred that. Like, INnoVation chased it down knowing he could do a lot of damage, pick off a lot of Ravagers there, and then the fungal ruined his day.
Might ruin his chances for the round of 8, man. This is brutal. And now what? Now what, Artosis?
Yeah, well, you're playing against Roach, Ravager, Infester.
Well, this is kind of
I don't think that's a comp that's going to just walk across the map and kill you.
No, I think what you don't want to do, though, is try to push again here. This is a Battle Zerg comp.
Yeah.
They want to take a fight. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, he wants fights at these mid supplies. That's 100% true.
Gotta be careful, man. Infestors can funk like beat me to it. Yeah, you could fungal. stuff like this, and then you just win an extremely one-sided fight.
You don't want their fungals to gain lots of value for them,
Right.
basically.
He needs to get some infestors in this control group we're looking at right now.
I think if you continue to make siege tanks and play a little bit more defensively, it forces Dark to get into a different composition, and you never know. Like, he's basically maxed out, so he might end up doing like some poor attacks or something as well.
It's possible for sure.
Well, he's going to have to
But-
bleed off the roaches somehow.
I mean, Zerg's not going to commit to this for sure. Zerg knows that this is just a phase. It's his
Just a
nose. He's
phase?
got a nose ring. It's no, but seriously, I mean, this can't last that long. And now, I mean, I think that might actually be stuck there.
Yeah, could
and
be.
this is going to be stuck there too.
Yeah, very good fungals going out. We'll be able to pick off a lot of these
Getting
units.
Nickelodeon slimed here.
Drops off. And yeah, another good fungal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see, this is the issue with what INnoVation is doing, I think, is he's allowing the fungals to continually gain
But
value.
He's attacking into this, and this is like
Yeah.
what you want as Zerg.
Yeah, you're getting to utilize this army that you've made, right?
Yeah.
If you sit back a little bit more defensively, like obviously you don't want to let Zerg take the whole map or something. But if you keep on attacking with smaller groups and the fungals keep getting you and you keep losing your high-tech units, that is absolutely not what you should be doing.
So another expansion here in the bottom right. They're both going to be growing towards the eastern side of the map. I mean, this is absolutely a map that can be cut in half, as are 4-player maps usually the case. There's not some base in the middle. That is, Terran fights back, but Zerg has actually amassed quite a bit of minerals and gas here. The fungals are continuing to connect and basically have big wins here. Zerg is not even really trading off very much. Instead, is just smashing what INnoVation has. INnoVation is still committed to, you know, the game of harass and trying to spring attacks on the locations. But I am worried that, like, as long as there's an infestor, essentially there's an answer. I mean, he misses that shot there, but it could have been the same story once more.
Yeah. Ooh, a Nidus coming down. That'll be kind of interesting. Maybe pop into the back of the main. So far away for
It's
INnoVation.
going graboids.
It's going what?
You remember Tremors? They were called graboids.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. Remember that you called my house that one time? You're like, what are you doing today? You like got all this stuff you're getting done? I'm like, I'm laying naked in my bed watching Tremors. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
You're like, oh, you're just like not gonna get anything done. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's some fungals right there. But INnoVation continuing to try to push. Don't forget, the Roach Ravager just doesn't scale all that well. As we get later into the game, it's having a harder time taking these fights. The fungals, of course, doing a lot of work for him. Vipers are out now as well. You make these things all shades of green.
Maybe just one shade Artosis.
Yeah, maybe
It's
that
gonna
too.
be 50 shades of green. Is what we're gonna have here.
One shade, 50 shades. Taste just opens his mouth and says
Just say things.
anything that comes to mind.
This is my powerful mind at work. Behold,
It might just be one shade.
I am a genius.
I'm like, okay, it might just be one shade. Then you're like, it might be 50 shades. That's a book, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
see,
say
it's like
so-
my references. It's like, how do I get this fast? I don't know.
Doesn't mean anything. Oh.
Terran is just continuing to grow here.
This is kind of a crazy game right now. Yeah, INnoVation is expanding towards the right,
There's
which
like
is
a
cool.
Zombie movie. They're trying to like stop him from getting up. They're like, just getting the rocks down there.
Yanks
Oh,
some
no.
tanks in. Nice fungals go down once again, putting a lot of
Wow,
extra
Fungals
damage on.
and lurker spines. Ooh la la.
Yeah, they work together. Bringing up another lurker here, throwing down those biles onto some of these tanks. Some more fungals being hit as well.
Seems like we're watching Terran almost win this fight despite being at a 180-degree angle of being surrounded. Does he just move through? Did
Yeah,
INnoVation
I mean,
just will his way through this? Did
I
he
think
just
so.
want it more? The thing is, as much as we've been remarking on all these fights that are happening here, in reality, INnoVation has outgrown the Zerg.
Yeah. Well, I think Dark has kind of stayed on the unit comp a little bit too much. And the thing is, he's lost enough bases now that it seems like it might be impossible to come back. He's generally good in those types of situations, but this is not one of them. His army is like 18 Hydras right now. But yeah, it's just the Roach Ravager over time has a hard time actually engaging, right? If we're up at like max supply, you're not even shooting with all of them. You're playing against like Marauder tank. Okay, here we go. The last-ditch effort from Dark. Is 117 supply enough?
Yeah, the attack comes in over here. Another big play. That's it. INnoVation crushes it. 1-1. You know, it's funny. Dark was doing so well, but yeah, I mean, you don't have any recourse for Terran, who's growing into the upper right.
Yeah, he was.
The Nidus. Did he actually get a Nidus out top?
He made one, but it was like he died right before he could use it. But yeah, I think that INnoVation was being pretty inefficient at some times against the Fungals, but you know, kept that pressure on. Eventually, he was going to run out of mana.
Yeah. So we're now going to go to Oxide for game number 3 here. I mean, INnoVation's won his first game. It is a reset now that we're in the last match here in Group C. So,
dude, if this was MLG, INnoVation would have no chance already.
That's right. What was it called?
Extended series.
Extended series, where like the tournament's done. We're like, we don't know what happened. We'll be right back.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. They're living a life like dead body can't
Kai Z Gaming. INnoVation. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark.
Okay. We're back onto a map that is more, you know, I think in the wheelhouse of both of these players. But that was fun. We got to cast a 4-player map, and you could see some of the dilemmas on both sides there. I mean, Terran can't really punish the main very much, and at the same time, you know, at least with the Roach Ravager, you could see that there's really no way to come back and actually stop those bases from being taken, and on that map, the bases are plentiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of an interesting map. I feel like that was definitely one of the better games tonight. Well, looks like pretty standard openers here on Oxide. See if INnoVation stays with this quick 3 CC stuff, and if Dark has any plans.
I don't think he's going to rush. I think he's going to play a very standard game. I think he's realizing that, like, he did a little bit of a roach rush in that last game, but honestly, Dark does seem to be, like, overall better. I know that INnoVation was winning with pushes, but, like, we don't normally see the Fungal and the Ravagers and all that used for that long. And frankly, INnoVation just outgrew him to the point where, like, he can keep throwing armies that aren't even trading efficiently because he has 3 times the number of bases.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, Dark does use some off compositions from time to time.
Yeah.
And you know, the Roach push he did, I think that the real mistake for him that game was not even staying on that composition into the late parts. You got to look a little bit earlier, right? Where the Hellions came in and massacred his drones when he did the like 7 Roach push. Didn't really have anything to stop that.
Okay, the Reaper gonna get chased out here. Little mine hit to pop that drone away. Yeah, and this is looking like, you know, another Dark INnoVation game where things are adding up so far. I mean, Zerg hasn't been able to do that much, but definitely INnoVation with the triple CC. You know,
yeah,
kind of expect that.
Totally.
And pretty good catch there.
Gets away though, nice. We'll see if that Roach Horn comes down. It's been coming down a lot around this time, but it looks a little bit more drone heavy. Maybe he's going to skip it finally.
Yeah, it seems like he's just going to keep droning up, keep on powering. The link speed is, of course, just a must to have in any game. Oh, there's the Roach Warren. Okay, I was pretty confident he wasn't going to get this, but let's see what he decides to do. Because
he likes roaches, though.
Yeah.
He really does like them in this matchup, and sometimes to his own detriment.
Yeah, that is very true. You know, the games that he had success with roaches, it was the one where he had the proxied hatchery. So we can't really apply that to a game that is following a textbook ZVT as far as growth and expanding.
The thing is, Dark is not much of a Lingbane Muta player.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. He really doesn't experiment with that style anywhere near as much. I mean, you look at DRG and it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he's known for.
He prefers things like roaches, like Ravagers. He likes Ultras in the late game. He does like to go like Mass Bane later on. He's definitely very good at that type of style, but for the early game, he really, if he can, he likes to get out some Roaches and Ravagers to defend and oftentimes to put pressure on.
Okay, he's going to come forward with some of these Hellions. Let's not forget last time we saw a lot of Hellions come in. Well, not the last game, the game before that, a lot came in, and he really didn't do that much with it. You know, the Hellions allow you to basically control the creep and control the growth of the Zerg overall as far as that creep highway goes, but if you dive in and you don't kill that many drones, you're going to give that up, at least for the time being.
Viking just clearing the way some. A lot of Hellions out on the map. Banshee is coming with Cloak. A couple of eBays here for INnoVation. Has that third CC already landed nice and early on. Let's see if he gets any damage here. Link spread pretty decent. Roach is coming up to help. Drone's getting pulled to the side. INnoVation tries to go after them there for a moment, but a lot of damage being put on. Only gets 3 drones and does get pushed back.
Right.
3 drones, pretty well done as far as defense goes.
Yeah, and already 14 more are about to be hatched here.
Yeah, really getting that drone count really high.
Yeah, we're going to have the medevacs coming out here, but first the Banshees to put that pressure on. Terran does take the third base comfortably, and Zerg just now takes the fourth. Can these Banshees actually hit this and force a cancel here? It's very early on.
I think he's going to go for drones instead.
Oh, spotted.
You see the Overseer, you see the Queens. You can't fly into there.
No. Zoned out. Double Evo Chamber coming down now. The Hydra Den as well. And now it looks like we're going to be stopping roaches for a little bit, or drones a little bit, excuse me. We're going to be going roaches.
Well, he had a good 70 workers, so that's really, really solid on 3 base. 66 is pretty much full saturation. All right, the Viking just chillaxing here.
Chillaxing.
Yeah, it's chilling and relaxing all at once.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah. Did you not know that, really?
No, I knew that, Artosis.
Oh,
of course.
okay.
I'm super.
I was like, did I teach Tasteless something hip?
No, I'm one of the kids, man.
Yeah.
Skateboarding home after this. Fourth base, close to finishing now. Again, a lot of INnoVation's games do come down to, you know, is the fourth base going to be pushed? He's extremely good at that, very straightforward Terran win, kind of the classic way that Terrans learn how to fight Zergs. And we're finally going to get to the point of this game where it really starts to pick up.
This 1-1 is about to finish along with combat shields, so that is one possible time to attack. We could see him as well wait for that 2-2 to finish, which will line up with his max. Lurker's going to be here very, very shortly, as are Vipers.
The spread right now for INnoVation's looking pretty good. These are the 2 medevacs I was talking about that I thought were going to come earlier. They're not. They're going to try to come through here and push some creep out because we're going to be having to set up for an attack later on. But immediately this is spotted. Now the Roaches, you know, the dilemma for the Zerg when they're fighting this with Roaches is that they can always just pick up and leave. So if a Terran's attentive, you just run back away.
But as some Hydras are being made, and the Vipers as well, it does have a little bit of counterplay to that pickup. Although I think this is mostly going to be Hydras made for Lurkers.
Right.
Banshee's still finding damage where they can. Barely doesn't get that Queen.
Okay, concussive shells is done. Lurkers are going to start coming out. We've got the Vipers, we've got everything else. And here comes that push we've been waiting for. This is the climax here. Everything leading up to this moment. Again, a big map with really good creep spread basically everywhere. It appears to be angled for that fourth base. No fifth in sight right now for Dark.
You know, he's up right now over 20 army supply against someone who has a lot of roaches, so you know that INnoVation's army is stronger. He's maxed out here. 2-2 not quite done, but I think this is still a good time to push out. Blinding Cloud goes down on the side, does yank forward a couple of tanks, but I think overall the damage of INnoVation's army is really high here.
INnoVation just has way more. The attack was way stronger. The Lurker goes down, and I think that Dark miscalculated the engagement there. Again, it was overall, you know, a pretty slow game up until now, and you know, we were talking about this is kind of how INnoVation tends to close a lot of his games out as a kill on the fourth. Picks up, actually fakes a drop into the main, drops down over there, because you got to try to do it actually now. There are Hydras and Roaches ready for this.
Well, he did siege up a couple tanks to give a little bit of support to those high ground Marines if their Roaches come in too close. And we'll utilize that, but brings him into the main.
Again, though, can the push keep coming in here? I mean, Terran's got a pretty astounding amount of supply.
Pushing forward with these Roaches, trying to pick off what he can. A lot of damaged bio here, but the medevacs are keeping them alive.
Yeah, another scan comes down.
Blinding Cloud as well, forcing him forward. And you see Dark just so sad as he GGs.
Whoa! INnoVation comes back. So strong. A devastating loss for Dark. I mean, he did this before. Beat INnoVation before, and then INnoVation, after losing the first game, came back in the next two. He moves on, and Dark is out.
Yeah, too bad for Dark. This leaves us with not so many Zergs so far. Only Rogue in that round of 8. Dark falling right at the end, and actually with a winning record over INnoVation of 3-2, but losing the 2 when it counts in that decider match.
Really impressive stuff. Really, I mean, INnoVation. I wish we could get a highlight of that first attack there. It seems like it could have gone either way, and then you saw that basically both the angles were won by INnoVation, and that was a lot of Lurkers and a lot of other important units that was lost in that fight. It's time for that interview, excuse me.
In the final match, INnoVation with finesse defeats Dark, and he moves on to the round of 8. Congratulations. Thank you. So INnoVation, you meet Dark again for the second time, and you've defeated this time, and you move on to round of 8. How do you feel?
사실 너무 잘해가지고
Honestly, he's such a great player.
또 마지막 세트에서도
So in the last set,
져가지고
I lost the first set.
못 이기겠다 싶어가지고
So, I had the feeling I might not be able to beat him.
잘 통했던 것 같아요.
But, at the end of the day, I was lucky and I was able to beat him. Well, this match definitely proved your class, INnoVation.
그리고 말씀하신 그 최종전 1세트도
And as you said,
테란 본진이 초토화됐었거든요.
the first half of the final match, your base was obliterated by Dark,
정말
but you managed to make a comeback.
앞선 패배들을 의식 안 하시는 편이신가요?
So were you not aware of the previous losses against him?
의식은 됐는데 오히려
Well, I was conscious of the losses,
이기겠다라고 판단을 해가지고
but I realized that if I go late game, I probably wouldn't be able to beat him.
짜내기로 컨셉을 바꾼 게좀 잘.
So then I changed my concept of the game.
상대가
mid-game.
노틸러스에서도 옥사이드에서도 정말 필사적으로 진균 플레이를 하면서
In GSL Nautilus and in Oxide, Dark displayed great executions of the fungal growth.
귀여웠나요?
아주 2세트도 솔직히 좀 졌다라고 생각을 했었는데.
In the second game, I actually thought I lost the game.
마지막에 좀 운 좋게 한.
But in the final skirmish, in the final fight, I was able to beat him just by a small margin, and I think that was.
로커랑 가면 좀 되게 좀 상대하기 어려운.
And the lurkers and the investors were really hard to deal with overall.
첫 경기 때 사실 궁금했던 점이
The first game, I was a little curious.
빌드를 맞았는데 바로 그 2세트에서 똑같이 이신영 선수 빌드 그대로 군공 트리플을 가셨잖아요.
Dark
그때도
sniped you
똑같이 하셨을까요?
with a build, but you went for the same build in the next game. So what was that about?
강용 선수와 첫 경기 때요.
마지막 1세트 왜 노상됐냐 이 말이에요.
네, 그 군공 트리플로 또 화염차 견제를 하면서 시작했던 판을 말씀드린 건데
So I'm talking about the Hellions.
기억이 안 날까요?
Are you not able to remember well? No, I can't
그렇군요.
remember.
자, 오늘 프로토스전 역전 승리도 인상적이었습니다.
And also,
사실
your
이겼을
comeback
때보다
in
분열기
against Zoun was really
패배했을 때
fascinating to
더
watch as well.
웃으시더라고요. 이신영 선수에게 분열기라.
So what does disruptor mean to you, INnoVation?
저한테만 통하는 분이신 것 같아요.
Well, I think disruptor only works against me, not anyone else.
좀 분열기 그런 화나는 점도 있으신가요?
So are you kind of angry at how disruptor is designed?
다른 테란들은 좀 잘 피하는데
It seems like the other Terran players are able to evade the
피한다고 피하는
disruptor
경우가
shots,
많더라고요.
but it feels like I just get
이게 극복이
I just get
안
hit by
되네,
it too
나이가
much.
먹어서 그런가.
maybe it's because of my age.
잘 못 피하겠어요.
I'm not able to maneuver through it
알고
well.
있는데도 좀 어렵다. 자, 이제 리뷰는 여기 정도로
So that
하고
was the
이제
game
8강
review.
이야기를 해보겠습니다.
And now let's talk about the round of 8.
상대는 D조 1위와 맞붙게
And your
되는데요.
round of 8 opponent will be the first place of Group D. And that group is stacked as well. 3 pros in that group. So who are you rooting for in that group?
아딱 집어 저그 박주적 선수.
So are you rooting for Armani?
진혁이가
Yes.
잘했으면 좋겠어요.
I hope Armani does well in that group.
1등으로 올라왔어요.
And I hope he advances as first place. Do you think that's possible? Well,
잘 하는 것 같더라고요.
I mean, he's doing good, so maybe.
알겠습니다. 자, 과연 이신영 선수가 다시 한번
Alright, let's see how he performed in the round of 8 and how he will perform overall in the season. Anything you want to say before you go INnoVation?
네, 오늘 좀 경기력이 많이 안 좋았는데
Well, my performance hasn't been great today.
또 진출은 해가지고 좀
But
떨떨한데
I was able to advance, which is quite weird.
좀 기본기 좀더
So in the round of 8, I'm gonna try to work on my basics
후반에서 이기는 모습.
and try to win in the late game.
네, 알겠습니다. 다시 한번
Then once again, congratulations,
축하드립니다.
INnoVation. Thank you.
And thank you for the translation, Andy. Excellent work as always. Okay, INnoVation goes on. It's kind of weird. He did a Dark won more games, 3-2, but
Yeah, that happens.
when it's 2 best of 3s, that's how it can go down. INnoVation and Rogue move on. You can't complain about these two guys advancing, of course.
Yeah, a pretty solid night overall. I was hoping that Zoun would do a little bit better than he did.
Yeah, well, I mean, StarCraft 2 is... People are so good at it now, and Zoun looks good, but he hasn't quite tweaked all of his play. A little bit... The games versus Rogue were weird, but, you know, Rogue might just have a season where he wins again, like he does every so
Yeah,
often. Rogue is sort of becoming like the INnoVation of Zerg, where, like, he's been so good for so many eras of StarCraft, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, Rogue is a player that's very on or very off.
Yeah.
And you're definitely right. Look at the bracket. Rogue right now gets to the finals. We'll see who gets Group D second place. But
Yeah.
do not expect Rogue to lose to Bunny or Dream. Honestly, like, they're great players.
He might just go to that side of the bracket and clunk their heads together and knock
Yeah.
them both out.
Yeah,
So-
I like 3 Protoss and a Zerg. We'll see if Armani can get through and give us a second Zerg in this next round. But I think that, I mean, Trap could maybe kill Rogue. Maybe Zest
maybe.
if Zest has an on day, but
I mean,
Armani
SOS
and SOS are minced meat against him, I think.
And SOS, I don't know how strong he is right now. He's looked good, but he seems to be fading.
Rogue did say in his interview that SOS beats him a lot, so maybe there's something there, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't trust Rogue on that, honestly.
I think well, they're friends and teammates as well, so it's,
yeah.
there's some politeness to go around here with those guys. But we'll see. It does seem like SOS has been, I mean, he's always good, but he doesn't seem like he's the 2-time world champion like we were used to seeing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always down for him finally winning a GSL. He's like one of the players where you're like, wait, he didn't win a GSL? That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that group is going to be on Thursday. I'm really hoping Armani can pull through. I think there's actually an okay chance that he can, but there are some... I don't think of SOS as a very robust Protoss vs. Zerg player, but I definitely think of Trap as that.
Yeah.
And Zest is a player that, when he is on, can kill every single Zerg, but he is a little bit streaky as well, kind of like Rogue.
Yeah, that's going to be on Thursday. Again, we're only going to be on Monday and Thursday forever. Just assume it's forever unless we tell you otherwise. So Saturdays and Wednesdays are gone now for our Korean cast. This is the new schedule. So if you're watching us now, you want to watch again, you know the time. And for the people that watch the VODs, which more of you actually do, you'll see this. And if you were wondering, hey, that's weird, I didn't see GSL on when I'm used to watching live, and now I'm catching up on the VODs, you have to check out the times right now, too.
Yes, indeed. So, this has been a good day, I think. A lot of fun today.
You think? You're like,
Yeah.
was this good?
Did I enjoy it? I'm like, yes.
I
yes,
did.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel bad for
good
Dark
group.
though.
Yeah, that's rough. I did think he was going to end up advancing, especially after the first 3 games against INnoVation,
Yeah.
but unfortunately wasn't meant to be.
What is this mischievous music we're playing here?
It's probably something to do with JYP again.
Boom, boom.
Taste us sneak around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tiptoe around and lay a
Yeah.
couple mischievous traps to home alone my enemies.
Yeah. This sounds like what's the name of the bad guy in Dora the Explorer? That little raccoon guy. Like,
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking
Sweeper
about,
or-
but I won't even be able to recall that.
it's something like Sweeper. I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds
Sweeper
like his music.
Yeah.
Where he's like comes on. He's like, Sweeper is sweeping or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't watch much Dora
I
Explorer.
talk like a Pokemon. I don't watch much Dora the Explorer. I try to keep up as much as I can, but I'm so busy with all my casting.
I don't think you watch any Dora.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know about it, but until it becomes the next esport Artosis.
Did you know they made a live-action Dora the Explorer movie?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. They're busy ruining everything, Artosis.
Yeah. I only watched like half of it, so I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
And
tell
then
you.
you
I don't know what happened.
You stood
dude.
up in the movie theater you were in alone and walked out, right?
Yes, I went to the movie theater alone
Yeah,
to watch
alone.
Dora the
You sat in
Explorer
the
live
front with
action.
a popcorn and a beer.
And
You
a
were ready.
beer.
You were pre-gaming before the movie.
Yeah.
Getting ready. So you were going to go hard.
Can you imagine a grown man going in to watch Dora the Explorer alone in a movie theater during COVID with a beer? It's an amazing
He's drinking his
sight.
beer. He's pulling his mask down and getting a
Yeah.
little sip. That's
I'm
funny.
cheering and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Swiper swiped.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is so good.
He stole the map.
Best Saturday night ever.
Oh.
That's all the time we have. But
By the way, ASL, the first VOD, we are going to be putting that out hopefully tomorrow.
yeah,
Hopefully
very
tomorrow.
soon, guys. And check out more at patreon.com/ASL English. We love you. Bye-bye.